Hmm. Oh, hello, hello.
Hi, Seb. Hello.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Hi, hi,
Great to
hi.
have you here.
Yeah, lucky to
We
have you
made it.
here. I felt so old, you know. I felt so old not being able to use Instagram for a live. But
People
now
watching this, they have no idea the struggle, the backstage
exactly.
struggle to make this
Yeah,
happen.
I wiped my forehead.
Uh, but well, we made it. That's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
So, welcome everyone. I guess people will just slowly join in. Um, Very happy to have you here today with us on our weekly ThaiVedic Live. This has been a
Mm-hmm.
response to the current state of the world, where traveling and gathering, that was something that was quite common in our lifestyles. We used to travel the world quite a bit, sharing our practices. This has become a little bit more challenging these days, so we adapt, uh, we adjust,
Mm-hmm.
we hopefully grow and evolve, and here we are. A new
How do
format, a
you do?
new
How do
platform.
you do a massage, Seb, online?
I'm not that evolved yet.
We need to develop this.
We need. So,
Uh,
for those of you listening to us back home, this is my friend Daniel Leox. I met Daniel probably about 10 years ago, I think, in Koh Phangan in Thailand. And Daniel is charismatic teacher. Daniel's been involved in the Taoist practices, traditional Chai medicine, Qi Gong for how many years now, Daniel?
1987. You do the calculation.
1987. Cool.
Mm,
So
mm-hmm.
I have a few questions for you, but I think I'm going to start with what is Taoism? Because a lot of what the topic of today is Taoism and how to reprogram our unconscious living. So I guess a good place to start, and I know this is a big question, uh,
It's a trap.
how would you, what is that famous sentence? Everything that can be said about the Tao is not Tao.
Exactly.
So let's open with that, shall we?
You want to
Let's put
humiliate
you right
me
on the
now.
spot. For people that never heard about these words, how, what is your best way to just give them a little bit of a light, an idea, a direction of what is it that we perhaps trying to convey when we say the Tao?
Well, I would say it practically, because of course we all know that the first sentence of the Tao Te Ching says that we cannot name it, so we cannot define it. But practically, let's get serious here. It's I would say it's a system. It's a system. It's a mapping. It's a
Mm.
mapping of who we are the, as a human being, and how to reprogram ourselves. I would say reprogram ourselves. Um,
Mm.
the we are mostly living our life unconsciously. Through we born, we got education, we born in certain cultures, we got different experiences, and we live this unaware, and it piles up. It's get registered in our subconscious, and we mostly live from that space.
Mm.
So some are programmed in a way that it's more in alignment with our soul, with our personal aims, I would say, and some are completely distorted, not in alignment. So it's a kind of a mapping, a system where you just, it's very pragmatic. It's very pragmatic, ABC, you know, it's not like all over the place. It's kind of a mapping. It doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you how to do, you know. So you follow the map, and you kind of, through your own being, you find out you find out who you are, and you realign that with the forces consciously. You bring more things that were unconscious, conscious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've heard people talking about the Tao and defining it as in English as the way.
That's the translation, actually.
The direct
Tao.
translation, Tao means the way, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Tao.
So the natural way,
in Chinese we say, yeah,
the way of
we go
nature, the
somewhere.
way. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite.
We use that every day in China. We use that every day in the language, because we say I'm going there, so we use Tao. You know, by heading somewhere. Yeah. So yeah. But this one is with the big E, let's say.
I really like that you explain it as a system, and system as being a map, something that helps you to orient yourself through the terrain. That's what a map is. And that as a map, it doesn't tell you what to do
on the way,
but kind of how it orients you on how to get there. And that's I find that really cool, because I think that's exactly what most systems are, the way that I see them, ThaiVedic included, that maps help you to orient yourself, but they're never the territory. The map is never the territory. And when you follow a system as if it is a territory, you miss out a lot. It's like in these devices that we have these days, we have Google Maps, which is actually quite helpful. But if I go to a new place and I just experience that place by burying my face into the phone and looking at the map, I will not experience the place. I might know where to turn left, where to turn right, where to go up and down, but I won't be experiencing what the terrain has to offer.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's where we kind of co-create with that map. You know, it's like we are. I like to describe a human being as you know, we are an energy field, which is a bundle of information, and as I said before, there's all kinds of information that is inside and that is acting out, and that we're not aware, and it's stored really in the different locations. This information, you know, and if you don't have a map, there's some areas of that village that you will never visit, and there's some information that is stored there that is still acting out. So you know, because there's two approaches. There's what we call the yin approach, that is more intuitive, where you go with your feeling, you look at, you know, how the body feels, and you go like this. And there's the yang, where it's more like, you know, a grid. You follow the grid, you follow the map, the road A, the road B, the road C. It's like we use both. If we use only the intuitive one, maybe there's some parts in the unconscious that will say, you don't go in that territory. This is the red light, you know, district, and you don't want to go see that. And it's happening unconsciously, you know. So with
and I guess the more it's happening, the more it happens unconsciously, either it's yin or yang, we inevitably create habitual patterns of behavior. So either it's instinctually or it's intellectually, we most likely are going to create specific pathways that we become used to, and that's the way that you navigate through the village or through the body or through the terrain. And like you say, we inevitably going to miss out some really important spots and some valuable information
Exactly. Yeah,
that
you
we
can make it.
oversee.
Once you walk the road, then you can redesign the road, you know? And this is part of it. If you
Mm.
never go on that road, it's very difficult to design it. And it's part of your village, it's part of your experience that is projected into in front of your eyes. So that's what for me the Qigong practices is about. Is not about to tell you what to do. It's telling you where to go, how to do it. The content, that's where the free will happens. You know, it's all your personality. You can invest your personality in it. And as I say, it's like we born like with a seed. You know, we born with a seed. We don't know the color of the flower yet, the height of the plant, and we don't know all these things. It unfolds, and if we just clear out the path, this is what grows naturally. You know, so it's become like more like in the instinct, the nature, our own nature, that we're the gift that we're here to deliver, you know, find its way out. And it's beneficial for ourselves, so we can even enjoy our own life. It's not pre-written, all patterns and all this. We can enjoy it, see it unfolding, and it's at the same time it's delightful for the people who experience us. You know, it's like us entering a botanical garden. You know, it's like everything is beautiful, natural, and it's true, feels right. You know, it brings safety to others. I think as a side effect, I think there's a lot of positive
Yeah,
positive aspect to that. Yes.
I agree. But
Yeah.
let's for a moment take a few steps back, and as fruitful and as pleasant as that transformation process or that reprogramming process might be, uh, how does one first realize that, well, in order to realize that I need to reprogram, I need to acknowledge and realize that I've been programmed to begin with.
Mhm.
And that program perhaps is not really aligned or in congruence with my environment, the lateral law, dharma, the Tao, whatever way we want to use to describe it. How does one first recognize that I've been programmed and this program is perhaps not optimal for me to live
Mhm.
my best
I'm not
expression?
experiencing happiness.
Mm.
I'm not, you know, I'm not experiencing happiness if it's if the program make brings happiness. I want to keep it.
Stick to
You
it.
know, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I think the process is a detox process. I would say it's not about necessarily.
Mm.
This can be a second step where you kind of visualize, or you add stuff, or you kind of co-create. But the first part is really how to find the core of your being first. Is just clearing the way, just clearing the path, you know? Like, it's not about interfering, it's not about fighting, it's not about judging what is there. It's about embracing what is there, offering no resistance to what is there, and digesting what is there. You know, we are
Mm.
people who are actually, that's all we do. We eat and release, you know, we eat, we take in and we give out, we take in and we give out. There's a lot of things that we took in that we never give out. And then it's kind of in constipation, energetic
Mm.
constipation, you know, and then that doesn't bring happiness. So when there's constipation, there's no happiness, you know. And this happens, you know. Of course, we all know what constipation is at the physical level, but we have also at the emotional level and at the mental, spiritual level. So it's very important to to involve all those three essences in the process, you know, in the process, in our presence. We choose in terms of vibration when we practice, that we try to choose the highest vibration, which is, you know, in the level of love, gratitude, unconditional acceptance. All these, you know, there's a choice, because we're kind of a vibrational being. So, you know, so oftentimes in our world, our education, we're told the right and the wrong. You know, instead of seeing it like non-dualistic and say, oh, this could be the right and this could be the wrong, and it's just a matter of vibration. I often describe it as a sound, like you know, I make it simple, but you know, according to what you eat, you know, either what you consume, what you allow in terms of your physical food, of your emotional food, of your thoughts, it affects this vibration. So it rises. One day you think about something that is great, a good memory, a good project or whatever, and it brings you high, and you have an amazing day, and your health improve. You digest well and everything. And another day you just have, you know, you just think about your dog just got hit by a car, you know, and then you just go down here, you know. It's like it's all a matter of this, and this is where we have the choice. This is where we can choose. And you know, even if you say, yeah, but this is not true, it's like, you know, like this is the reality, is like that. We have a choice to choose, and and after that, it's just a matter of time when it becomes the new normal. I will use actual terms. The new normal. It becomes the new normal that, yeah, you kind of wake up happy now. You know,
Beautiful.
This is just a matter of consistency. It's just a matter
Practice.
of time. Reprogramming. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really helpful, I think, to actually start looking at. I mean, everything is energy, either from a a new age hippie standard or from a quantum physics perspective. Everything is energy, and in that sense, there's no good energy or bad energy. Just there's simply different wavelengths, different frequencies of vibration. Then our judgment comes in, and our judgmental mind is gonna say, "This is good due to my preference. I like it. I want it. This is bad energy. I don't like it. It's unpleasant. I reject it." But at the end of the day, as far as reality is concerned, it's all an expression of energy through different frequencies, different wavelengths. So recognizing that is one step. Then recognizing that we have an option, that there is an option, that we actually have our hand in the dial, and to a certain extent, we can influence this wavelength and suggest a certain direction, either to move up or down. In a Taoist perspective, how does this actually take place practically? What kind of things do you do in your practice following the Tao to have a little bit of that compass where, okay, amping up, amping down, having a little bit more of an influence in how you vibrate and how you receive, because we're both emitting energy and we're both broadcasting and receiving constantly, right?
Yes. Well, first we say that you know, the smile is the active ingredient of the Taoist pill, because you know we can get into judgment. You know, like I like to define emotion like E dash motion, which, you know, energy in motion. Oftentimes, because of our education and our cultures, there are some that are classified in the bad ones and some that are classified in the good ones, you know, and 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 this creates like some refusal. I think that the unconditional acceptance is a key, is in order to allow this energy to move, to keep moving, because the energy comes in the moment you say no to that energy is like you close the door after the thief have entered your house. So you just leave
That's too
the
late.
thief inside of your house. You better open the back door if you want a better result. You know, it's like it's more about allowing the energy in. But we have reaction. We close. You know, we feel something and we close. So when we're conscious about it, we can say, okay, it's okay. Let's experience this movement. Let's allow this movement to go through and to continue, and then it transforms by itself and it passes to another phase. It's like, you know, like we look at nature and we have a lot of philosophy, you know. It's like, oh, it's raining, oh, the nature is green, and you know, we need the rain, it's good. Or there's wind, oh, it's good, it clears the trees from the dead leaves, you know, it moves the energy, the thunderstorm. We have a lot of philosophy around the weather, you know, around the external weather. But when we have a internal weather, whoop, there's something wrong, you know. Why this weather would not be like restoring a balance, you know. So, you know, it's like we have the tendency to judge so much. So the first step in the process, before getting involved into the creative aspect of life, I would say, is to embrace, is to allow this energy and start to enjoy. You know, we say in Daoism, make space for pain and wisdom will grow. Make space for pain. And my master was saying, you know, the problem in the world today is that people don't like pain. You know, when I first heard that, it was saying, well, that sounds normal to me. But later in the practice, I had the chance to experience the bliss of pain, which is, the pain was the contracted, blocked energy. And actually, when I made space, the pain was not a pain anymore. It was an energy movement. It was a creative power that came with information, with education. It came with so much gift that
This is so good, Daniel. Yeah,
that now
really
I
good.
keep looking for trouble, you know.
Yeah. I think this is such a good point that you're making, and it's so aligned with the more Buddhist philosophies that I follow in my practice, and and this is bringing up the words of one of my teachers that at one point just said, "Learn how to suffer in simplicity. Make that part of your practice. To learn how to suffer in simplicity." Yeah. You know, in Buddhism, the second noble truth is life is dukkha. One of the translations of dukkha is suffering. Could be discontentment, unpleasantness, but life is suffering, not in a negative sense, but just the fact that we acknowledge that there is suffering, that is inevitable. You know, part of life is to get sick. That's part of life. Part of life involves dying. Part of life involves losing loved ones, dreams that never come true. There's going to be disappointments taking place. So to learn how to suffer in simplicity is something really important. Because otherwise what happens is that we keep on multiplying the suffering with mental suffering. Let's say one of my biggest dreams was to become a rock star, but I have absolutely no musical talent. Well, I can just suffer that disappointment that's not going to happen, or I can start on piling up suffering. and really judging myself for the lack of talent, and starting to judge others for their talent, and starting to blame the lack of opportunities, blaming my parents, blaming the situation, maybe blaming my social strata. And all of a sudden I get to a point where I don't even know what was the origin of suffering. I just know that I'm immersed in suffering. So the importance of just in the moment that something is unpleasant, that something strikes a sense of suffering, to
The
create the
suffering
space for
comes, you
that.
know.
Yeah,
Yes,
beautiful.
the
Thank you.
suffering comes with the way we interact with you know, it's like dancing, you know. If we don't follow, we just jump on each other's toe, you know. And it's the same thing with life, you know. If we're swift enough, if we can just, you know, allow the movement of life within with the least resistance as possible, well, there's less suffering.
Then the
You know,
stumble becomes part of the dance. It's just another move.
exactly. And what if that was the mastery of the dance, you know? We tend to say, oh, I made a mistake. What if that mistake was exactly the artfulness of the dance, you know? So this is the part I like, and that keeps me going with the practice, is to witness things that I would have never imagined.
Yeah.
Things, and that comes from myself, you know. The things that I know about myself and that I repeat and all this, you know, is boring, you know. I just bored myself with. But when there's something that comes out because you just didn't think about it, it just, you know, it just came spontaneously, and you just like almost surprised
What's
yourself,
that?
like, yeah, this is fun. Yeah, this is I like. This is what keeps me going in the practice, you know. It's like it's much less dogmatic after 35 years than it was when I first started, when I was thinking, you know, oh, I should become, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, the more it goes, it's much more related to self-acceptance and really jumping into love immediately and creating from that space, not getting to that space is the starting point, you know. That's why we say we start with the smile. This is the active ingredient of the pill. This is what opens the way, and
It feels that there's a
everything else.
lightness that comes with that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And here's something that I remembered you saying many, many years ago. This is something that you said, I think, in a very casual conversation, and it stayed with me. I remember you saying that enlightenment just means more light.
Yeah,
You said something.
yeah.
Yeah. And at that time, I
Yeah.
took that as light, as in light, radiance, brightness. But now, listening to you saying this, it's coming to me also in terms of lightness in weight. There's both. There's lightness in radiance, but
Yeah.
also lightness in weight. Just,
Hmm.
yeah, the moment you create space, you actually dropping a lot of the burden, a lot of heavy judgments and ideas and
Hmm.
misconceptions, and immediately you become more light. That inner smile,
Absolutely.
that is actually one of my favorite practices in Taoism, like you said, the foundation in so many ways, that I see it slightly similar to the practice of metta in Buddha Dhamma, in Buddhism, the cultivation of friendliness, loving kindness. But I
Hmm.
really like how Taoist practices seem to be so specific. They're very, very practical and very specific and very tangible. That's something I really appreciate about my
Yeah,
encounters with
it's very
Taoism.
pragmatic. Yes,
Mm.
yes, yeah. It's pragmatic practice. Yes. Hmm.
Mm.
Well, yeah, yeah, and it evolves and it has no end. When you talk about enlightenment and this thing that I said years back, you know, I always, because people ask this, you know, to a teacher all the time, you know, I'm so uncomfortable to answer that question at some point. But in the reality, you know, people say, what is awakening? Well, awakening is just like realizing that, oh my God, you control the buttons. You know, you are behind the machine, but the thing is, like, all your staff is behind the veil you didn't know, you know, and you're just there alone, and you see the things changing inside you, and you think you're not responsible, you know. The awakening is like, it's just you remove the veil. So is an important step. Is the starting point. After that, you realize that that thing is not like dualistic. Is, as I said before, is like you have the option of choosing what is or what is we, you know, is like, so you can tune, and this is like a dimmer light, you know, is like enlightenment is just increasing the dimmer, and the light at some point, you know, whoop, the light bulb disappear. It's only light. There's no more weight. There's no more matter there. It's only light, you know. This is my guess. I didn't get there. I hope I could just disappear in front of you. I'm not there, so I will stay humble. Okay. But, you know, this is the process of enlightenment. It's just increasing the vibration, just increasing the vibration. And this is just a matter of practice and of integrating and increasing the power, and being very mindful of what are our habits in our life, in terms of our physical habits, the way we sit, the way we eat, you know, the way we sleep, so many things at the physical level that can bring the like these things we do that brings it down, other things we do that brings it up, you know. And the same thing, sometimes, you know, you can be sitting in your living room, and then you have like, oh, you're just thinking everything, you know, and then it brings your energy down, and then the light goes down, and then you're suddenly like thinking, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, and then whoop, you know, the light is moving like this. So that I would say that the mastery is just being able to master our habits to a level where the light is just full on all the time. But this is just it's just a matter of time, you know. It's like I have people in mind that I admire, and I wish one day I'll be like them, you know. That, you know, but I'm awakened. I can say that. Someday I'm enlightened. Someday I'm crawling in the mud. You know,
I must say, most of my days, I feel more in darkened than enlightened. But hey, I create space for that.
yeah, yeah. You
Let
can
me
be the
just at
light
this
in the
point.
darkness.
Let me just at this
Sorry.
point invite people that are watching. If you guys have any questions, anything that you'd like to pose to Daniel or myself, go ahead and just write down as a message, and I'll get to it. Yeah. So Daniel, maybe a little bit on the inner smile for people that are watching that never heard about it, because I find it to be such a simple and yet such impactful practice that can be done by anyone, anywhere, at any time. Would you like to maybe
You know,
give a little?
it's an ingredient, you know. This is the as I said, it's the active ingredient, you know. How you cross somebody on the street, and that person just send you its most genuine smile, you know, and then suddenly, like, yeah, you take it personal, it feels good, you know. But this is the same thing that we address to ourselves. So it's a choice of vibration, because when we say the smile, you know, it's like when the first time I heard that, you know, back in the years when I, you know, did I pay for that, you know, to come and get somebody, you know, apparently very famous, just tell me that just to smile, you know, like I had a kind of a little snobbish reaction to that. But after that, when you experience it, you realize that the smile, what is it? It's kind of an unconditional acceptance, you know. You smile to something, you go inside yourself, and then, you know, it's like you have your wounded children inside, you know, that are stored everywhere, you know. Imagine you put it outside, somebody, you're going to work one morning, and at the door, you open the door, and it's a wounded children. A wounded child that is there, you know, in blood and in tears, and, you know, what do you do? What do you do? You know, you notice, and then after that you say, come in, have a shower, take your time. You have no problem. I'll take care of you. You know, it's okay. You know, you call the office and you say, okay, I'm busy. I have something very important to take care. You know, and then you stay home and you nurture that wounded child, and you don't say, listen, I have an appointment. Rush up. You know, hurry up, heal. Get happy now, you know. You don't do that, because if you have this attitude of emergency, of everything, you create tension. So the smile is like, you don't control the time, you don't control, you just choose to welcome whatever is, you know. And this is what opens the thing. This is the shortcut. This is the fast lane of healing. You get yourself out of the way, and you tune into your most genuine smile, and you address it to yourself, to your inner wounded children. Okay, and then they heal, and this energy just becomes what we say that was a bad energy is actually trapped creative power, you know. So as soon as this is, you don't need to do it consciously. It is like that. You don't need to create it. You don't need to create that power. This is the inherent power. You don't need to create it, you know, because this can bring stressful. Well, yeah, what do I do? What will I become? You know, who should I be? No, you just, everything we should be is already there. You just need to remove the resistance to. So the smile, that's what it does. It melts. You know, you can. There's many. You know, the smile is like Mantak Chia brought that word about, you know. It's like, if you look in the Taoist book, you'll never see this method, you know, but it is, you know. It's like the golden light meditation you will see in the tradition, in the books, because the golden vibration induces peace, induces acceptance and all this, you know. So whatever works, if you understand the principle, is just about stop being judgmental about our lives, about what is there. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling, you know, you take responsibility, but not, you drop the guilt.
Sounds like you cultivate friendliness first towards yourself,
Yes.
and then you expand and extend that to others. And
You don't even need
that is exactly one of the definitions or explanations of metta, one of the four Brahma Viharas in Buddhism, and the loving kindness. First, you develop that and direct that towards you. Once you reach a certain level of abundance, then you start to share the lightness, and the friendliness, the loving kindness.
Yeah, it just happens. You don't even need to decide, oh, I should be kind or anything. It's just what radiates from your core. But, you know, we need to open the core, to free the core, to cultivate. We say we cultivate the Tao, you know, like a garden. Yeah, it's a garden. We just cultivate it. It's there. It's like, you don't need to decide what color you put the flower. You just water it, right? So this is what we do. And then when the flower is there, well, everybody can enjoy it. And that's what it is. It's beyond, I would say, control. You know, you don't control. You don't say, oh, I should be saying this, or I should. It's kind of a spontaneous expression of ourselves that comes from the core. So we don't need to choose to radiate the light. We can have a certain control of self-containment and all this, you know, in life. But I mean, if we have it inside, it's not an effort to share it. It's just what radiates from the light bulb.
Yeah, beautiful. So Daniel, how can people find out and learn more about these practices? Do you have any online content? I know that you have a website. Probably there's some information, some valuable information that people can access.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I'm in a transition. So I have a website, the Wandering Dao Qi Gong School, wanderingdao.com, which is the training. But you will see that already for 3 years that I haven't taught a retreat. I'm in a personal transition, going back, a big movement in my life, which is very positive. It's exciting. It's a transition.
Are you moving away from China?
This year I'm moving to Taiwan. This year, the last 3 years, I've discovered amazing detox product based on enzymes. Actually, I will send some to you so you can experiment. It really kind of flipped my life and asked me somehow to give it some energy, because I really think it can help people get started into self-responsibility and start the detox from the body part, and it's is through fermentations. It's very old tradition, is also coming from the Taoist tradition, but I didn't know up to like 3 years ago. So I've been investing myself in creating this structure, which I had no experience before. So I felt like a baby again, and into a new field. But now I am at the point where I'm gonna relaunch those retreats, which I called, as I told you, the reprogramming of the clumsy masters. Because oftentimes why I chose that name, because it's funny. I like
because
funny.
It's true.
And
we're
then
all a bunch
also
of
because
clumsy masters.
Yes, and also to address the people saying, you know, I recognize you as a master. You're already in full power to make all the changes, but you need to really act, which is just clumsy. There's nothing wrong with it. But as soon as you become more aware and you have the methods to make the changes, well, then you can really have a good time playing with life. So this is coming again. I'm bringing this back up. So if people want to have this experience of this cleanse, it's called Zen Cleanse. ZenCleanz.life. So there you can have a look. These are products. I'm not a peddler. I really brought this because I really think that it's the greatest tool for detox that I've found, and I've been detoxing for a long time. Yeah. So
I know that you've been in the field, and you've been digging and looking and experimenting quite a bit with these things. And and for those of you that don't know Daniel, I can assure you, I'm not going to tell his age, but I can tell you he's one of the most vibrant men that I know. So whatever it is that he's doing, it's working. So,
as soon as I can fly, I'll go kiss you, my friend. As soon, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for inviting
Yeah.
me and giving me this opportunity.
Oh, what a pleasure. What a pleasure, Daniel. Yeah.
Mhm.
So follow Daniel here on Instagram. Check out his website, Wandering Dao and Zen Cleanses, right?
Zen Cleanse,
Zen Cleanse.
Cleanz, you know, so Zen
Yeah.
Cleanse. You will find,
Yeah, if you
actually,
guys don't
I'm
find it, you
talking
just
to,
write to me. And all right, we have a question, Daniel. Let me just read this out to you before we start closing our chat here. So Klasitaram asks, how do you get there? I mean, how do you start with daily meditation? Any specific kind of practicing consciousness, right? Any tricks for when you get distracted from the outside during the day?
yeah. Well, I would say that, I would say a training helps to get you started. But I would say to someone who doesn't have a training is to start by simply sitting quietly and tuning into your breath. So by tuning into your breath, automatically you cannot think and breathe at the same time. I mean, you cannot think and feel at the same time. Breathing to make you tune into your feelings. So as soon as you tune into your breath, you will start feeling. So that's the method to bring you in. After that, I would say just tune into something that brings a smile to your face and address it to yourself. Just address it to yourself. Address it wherever you feel pain. Address it wherever you feel comfortable. Address it to the emotions you may feel inside. Because as you tune into your breath, you will step back. I say you step into your spirit shoes. It means like you can look at yourself as soon as you start this. So this is a simple introductory practice, and it can be very powerful. And you will probably tune into 4 to 5 seconds, and then you will end up in Disneyland again and traveling and doing things. Okay, then this is meditation. Don't think that you're not good at it. This is meditation. You just come back and you start again. You know, like my Kung Fu master here in China could only say 3 words. One more time. That was the that was the only only thing he could say in English, and it meant so much to me because you know he
Practice
learned these
makes
3 months.
mastery.
This is it. It's just a
Whatever we
matter. It's not.
practice, we become good at. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful saying that the difference between the master and the student is that the master has failed more times than the student ever tried. Yeah.
Voila. That's
And
it.
voila.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, and
That's it. It's
maybe we
simple,
close
huh?
with that one.
Okay.
Daniel, what an
Very good.
absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for making the time and share your practice and your wisdom with us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you
Yeah.
for doing this, Sebastian. It's very, it's very, there's a lot of meaning for people. We need that. We need inspiration in these times. So thank you for doing this and being so disciplined and creating a beautiful life for yourself and helping others. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you
You.
very much.
Mm.
Guys, follow Daniel. If you don't follow ThaiVedic yet, check us out here on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. There's lots of content. There's an online course that is available. A second one is cooking. So stay tuned, stay connected, and to be continued. Thank you very much.
Okay. How do I get out
Bye,
of here
Daniel.
now?
All the best. And I hope we get to meet soon.
Yes, I would like that. Thank you.
Cup of tea in
Okay.
Taiwan sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.